Foursquare was released on March 11th, 2009. Shy of 4 years as a social network, it has grown exponentially in that time, amassing well over 20 million users worldwide. The popularity of Foursquare comes easily due to its check-in system, a simple mechanic that warrants rewards for simply discovering your own city and its venues. While Foursquare is fairly popular, there are still some that don't know exactly what it is. But hopefully, at the end of this presentation, not only will you understand how Foursquare can work for you, but you'll download the application and start checking in. Now, Foursquare is a unique social network, as it works solely in conjunction with your location via the GPS on your mobile device. In layman's terms, it won't work unless you're on your cell phone. Since its inception in 2009, Foursquare has expanded its compatibility to just about every smartphone available on the market today, so there's no real excuse to not download it. Now, Foursquare has an interesting history, as it can be thought of as a reboot of an old project. Foursquare was founded by two people, Dennis Crowley and Naveen Selfdurai, in 2009. However, in 2005, Crowley created something called Dodgeball, which was an extremely similar application to the current Foursquare. Dodgeball was purchased in 2005 by Google and replaced in 2009 by Google Latitude. Now, of course, there are some basic similarities between the two, but this should be hardly surprising as both had the same creator. Now, as stated before, Foursquare works solely off of a fairly simple mechanic called checking in. Once you have the Foursquare app up and running, you'll be able to check in virtually everywhere that there's an establishment. If you can find it on Google Maps, you can check into it. As you check in, you are awarded badges and points that you can put on your profile and towards certain special offers. Once you have enough points, you can even become the mayor of a certain location, and I'll get into more detail about that later. Now, this is what the check-in system looks like on mobile devices. Also, from time to time, you'll be able to claim special offers at that specific location depending on the time of the day that you go. Now, remember the badges? These are most of the available basic badges. There are many more specialized badges, however, those are much harder to obtain, and some of them are now impossible to get, such as the 2012 presidential badge, which was rewarded for checking in at various ballot locations across the city. Now, collectibles have always been able to catch people's attention, from trading cards to antiques, so I think it's a pretty good attention grabber. I have a list of badges and their unlock qualifications on my wiki, which I will link to at the end of this presentation. Now, this is my personal statistic page, which shows my location on the world map, how many check-ins I've had, my badge count, how many people I follow, and how many friends I have, because at the end of the day, this is still a social network. It also includes how many tips I've left, a mechanic that I'll soon get into, and it also includes a little fun fact that's custom generated from my check-ins. Now, let me make this absolutely clear as possible. Just like every other social network, Foursquare is 100% free. The end. Now that's out of the way, let's move on. So, why would you use Foursquare? Now, there are a handful of reasons, and unlike Facebook or Twitter, these reasons will directly benefit you and your wallet. After you check into a location, you're able to leave tips for others. For example, last week I went to a restaurant called Bonchon, and after I checked in, ate my food, and left, I left 2 tips as well. Ask for Sarah and get the pot stickers. Now, one of my friends who also uses Foursquare, saw my comments and texted me later letting me know that Sarah was hilarious and the pot stickers were amazing. Now the beauty of it is that complete strangers can read your tips and benefit from them. Maybe the restaurant was terrible, then leave them a tip to go somewhere else. You can also discover new places based on your check-ins. Foursquare will recommend places to you and even give you an incentive to go by just giving you a special offer for heading over there. Now, onto the subject of mayor. Becoming mayor doesn't involve an extensive campaign, at least not in Foursquare. It simply means that you've checked into a specific venue the most. Now, being mayor can just be a title for bragging rights, but it can also come with some special perks, like this. And it's not only limited to, free drinks. It can be free food, free stuff. It all depends on the place. Now, moving away from the consumer side of things, let's say that you were a small business. You just spent all that money building the place, and now you have to spend money advertising. Now, Foursquare provides a rough alternative. By working with Foursquare, you're able to grab the eye of whoever's in your location by offering special deals and coupons. There's a cupcake store in Brooklyn that gives away 10 free cupcakes to the first 10 people to check in daily. Now, not only does this get word of mouth advertising going, but it creates a want to go and try and win a free cupcake. Sure, they lose about $20 a day, but the advertising and publicity that they get more than make up for it. It also helps the establishment to get to know who their customers really are, and they can read the tips that you leave. And so, if something's not that great at your place, you can see it and fix it. And it's pretty good that way, because it's just like leaving a survey, I guess, after everybody's meal. So Foursquare works for the business person and the consumer, but it also has another function, which may or may not have been intentional. It's an amazing method for compiling statistics, one of the best that I've seen. So here we can see the top 3 train stations in the world checked into, the top 3 hotels, the top 3 art galleries, music venues, restaurants, and wine bars. We can also see what's checked in and when it's checked in. Now, this infographic is from 2010. Currently, there have been 2 billion check-ins. Note the check-in from space too. Now, we can also see the most popular movies. We can also see the most popular movies checked into and the most popular days of check-ins. It's specific enough to include gym check-ins per state. Now, here we can see the popularity increase of Foursquare. And you can also see some random statistics. Foursquare can let giant chains know where they stand as well. And unsurprisingly, the companies are, for the most part, in order based on their current rating on the NASDAQ or Dow Jones, which just adds to the validity of the statistics. Now, Foursquare can even analyze how many people are happy or sad over an extremely wide area. As you can see, here's Hong Kong, New York City, and it encompasses the whole region. Now, I think you can get the idea of just how good Foursquare is at statistics. So, Foursquare has extreme potential, as you have seen, to be a top contender in the social network circle due to its simplicity and its reward system. Now, with well over 20 million users, it has no chance of slowing down anytime soon. Hopefully, you can all see just how powerful a tool it can be, not only for the basic consumer, but also for business owners. So I think that you should download it today and try it out, because remember, it's completely free. Also, right here, this is my wiki. Here I have all this information in text form. That way you can go through it, scroll through it, and read it. And also the badges and their unlock qualifications are also on this page. Thank you for listening and giving me your time. My name is Yuri Charles.